It was 1848, the year America collectively lost its mind. Somewhere in California, a man named James W. Marshall found a shiny rock, and everyone decided that laws, morals, and personal hygiene were optional from that day forward. This is the story of the California Gold Rush, when dreams glittered, greed festered, and the word mine became a lifestyle, not just a claim. It was 1848, and America was about to lose its mind. One shiny little nugget found in the dirt of California would set off a frenzy so wild it would rewrite history, redraw maps, and remind everyone that greed is the most American thing of all. This is gold fever, when greed took over America. Within months, the news spread across the country like wildfire, thanks to a San Francisco newspaper called The Californian and a U.S. Army colonel named Richard Mason, who confirmed it. By 1849, nearly 90,000 fortune seekers, known as the 49ers, flooded into California from every corner of the world. Farmers left their crops. Shopkeepers abandoned their stores. Entire ships were deserted in San Francisco Bay because their crews ran off to dig for gold. And when we say everyone went west, we mean everyone. People came from China, Mexico, Chile, Peru, France, Germany, and Australia, all chasing the same dream: instant wealth. It was the first true global gold rush, and San Francisco turned from a quiet port town of 800 people into a lawless city of over 25,000 in just 2 years. You could say California got rich overnight, except for the people who actually found gold. Because, spoiler alert, most didn't. Here's the hard truth. Most miners never struck it rich. In fact, by the time the majority of people arrived in California, the easy gold was long gone. The real winners? The merchants. Guys like Samuel Brannan, a store owner who ran through San Francisco shouting, "Gold! Gold from the American River!" then sold every pickaxe, shovel, and pan in his store for outrageous prices. He made millions without mining a single ounce of gold. Levi Strauss became famous selling durable denim pants to miners who needed something that could survive weeks in mud and misery. So, while miners gambled everything in the dirt, businessmen got rich off their desperation. It's basically the 1800s version of NFTs. But the gold rush wasn't just about greed. It was also about control. The U.S. government saw the gold boom as a way to secure California, which had just been taken from Mexico in the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo that ended the Mexican-American War in 1848. When thousands of Americans flooded the land, native tribes and Mexican landowners were pushed aside, or worse. Over 300,000 Native Americans lived in California before the gold rush. Within 25 years, that number dropped by more than 80% due to displacement, famine, and state-sanctioned violence. California's first governor, Peter Burnett, even declared that a war of extermination will continue to be waged. And all this for gold. The rush wasn't just an economic event. It was a land grab disguised as destiny.
When we talk about the gold rush, we talk about dreams. But for many, it was a nightmare carved in greed.
Ah, the mining camps, where dreams went to die and personal hygiene took a sabbatical. Imagine thousands of men, tired, broke, unwashed, living in tents, shacks, and mud. No plumbing, no medicine, just whiskey, rumors, and the faint hope of hitting gold before dysentery hit first. Violence was common, theft was constant, and claim jumping, stealing someone's gold spot, was basically the national sport. Gambling halls, saloons, and makeshift jails popped up everywhere. And justice? Let's just say frontier law was more like angry mob with a rope.
The miners called it rough democracy. Historians call it, please never do that again.
The gold rush turned California into one of the most diverse and most divided places in America. Chinese immigrants built settlements called Chinatowns near mining sites. Latin American miners brought new techniques like arrastras, stone mills that crushed ore. But racism ran deep. In 1850, California passed the foreign miners tax, charging non-U.S. miners $20 a month just to dig, a huge sum at the time. It targeted Chinese, Mexican, and South American workers, forcing many to leave or go underground. Because nothing says land of opportunity like charging people for existing. Gold didn't just destroy lives, it also wrecked the land. Miners used a process called hydraulic mining, blasting entire hillsides with high-pressure water cannons to wash away dirt and reveal gold. It worked, but it also sent tons of mercury and sediment into rivers, flooded towns, and permanently scarred the landscape. By the 1880s, the U.S. government had to step in and ban hydraulic mining because California was literally drowning in its own greed. The price of gold wasn't just human, it was environmental. They called it progress. We call it, please stop destroying everything. By the 1850s, the surface gold was gone. The easy riches dried up, and the frenzy faded. Thousands left California broke and bitter, the dream over, replaced by ghost towns and empty claims. But in its wake, the gold rush left something massive. California became a state in 1850. Banks and railroads expanded west, and America learned that wealth, real or imagined, could build empires overnight. It also taught us that no matter how shiny something looks, greed always leaves dirt behind. The gold rush wasn't just a moment in history. It was a mirror, a reflection of ambition, destruction, and the endless hunger for more. America didn't just find gold in 1848. It found out how far it would go to get it. And if history tells us anything, we'd probably do it all over again.